Welcome to the end. This is finally it. Valiant Hearts, The Great War, Part 12, Finale, here on sweetfishPLAYS. Buckle up.
The dogs of war, man's best and most loyal friend, shared the same day to day as the soldiers. Whether carrying messages, saving the wounded, or sweeping for mines, they never failed to fulfill their duty.
What?
This is the start of what I claim to be the tragedy train. So I've kind of been anticipating and waiting for this moment the entire game, just any happy moments being torn down, sort of. I knew something bad was going to happen at the end. Anyways, Carl, Marie, Victor, three of the main characters in this game, and those whom I'm sure we can all agree would like to see them all make it out with their lives. And sort of live happily ever after. They are all in trouble. Carl obviously went back to save them, to help them in the midst of the ongoing war dispute between the French and the Germans. Got there. The town was covered in gas, and that's sort of the last that we saw of them, basically choking out, Carl passing out, I think with Marie in his arms. Walt was able to get Victor, their child, out safely, and then literally ran to Anna, again, cross battlefield, as we just saw in that little cutscene, and let her know that something is up, something is awry. So that's sort of where we are now. Without further ado.
C'est bien. Oh, Marie. Carl. Dépêche-toi. Oh non. Allez, Carl. Allez. Voilà, c'est là. Allez, Carl. Carl, viens donc. Ça va aller. Allez. Allez. Carl, allez. Tu vas t'en sortir, tiens bon. Non. Vas-y. Non. Allez, Carl. Ça va aller, allez. Oh. Tiens bon, tiens bon. Oh. Allez, Carl. Allez, Carl. Carl, tiens bon. Voilà, c'est... Allez, Carl. Oh. Allez, courage. Allez. Tiens bon. C'est bon, c'est bon.
Okay, we sort of have full control here again. Carl is in pretty rough shape here, there's no denying that. In typical Anna fashion, we've come to his aid a couple times. We actually had to end up rushing him here to this field hospital, which is why the historical fact for this chapter was covering field hospitals. There's always sort of a link. That was really intense because out in the field you could make a mistake, but there on the bed, that was basically live or die. I made one mistake, that's all right off the top, and it made me start over. But man, these button combinations, it's gotten a lot harder, that's for sure, and a lot quicker, the little rhythm mini game that we play with Anna. But I dig it, I like it. I think we did all right there, having only messed up once. There's 4 collectibles here in this chapter, but you know, more important than collectibles here is the lives of our freaking characters. No new diary entries. I thought I would just check off the top. So there was something like some sort of a medical box or something that we need to get before we can continue. Thankfully, we see Marie and Victor are still okay at this moment in time. It's just Carl whom is in particularly bad shape. So I think we can monitor Carl's condition by the top left of the screen there. I'm not sure if there's any sort of time limit or anything like that, but we should probably make a point to hurry a little bit. Yeah, we're definitely missing some sort of a medical box. Able to find our first collectible, and it's the 3rd one down. That's interesting. A bar of soap. Soap was the basis for all hygiene. It was obviously used to wash, but also for washing clothes and mess tins. How it was made depended on local recipes, and it soon became a rare commodity during the war as oil became scarcer. Yeah, only 4 collectibles here in this chapter, and there's in this mission. There's only 1 mission after this. I mean, this really is the end here, so there's probably only like 7 more collectibles in total anyways, so we've already collected the vast majority of them. So these people are sort of guiding us on where we need to go. I'm just trying to figure this place out for the most part. Each time I talk to one of these nurses, they point me in the direction. Oh shit. Okay, so Carl's condition definitely deteriorates, so we're definitely on a time limit. There's a lot of these cupboards, so I'm gonna make the assumption that it's gotta be in one of them. This is a big complex, this is a big place, so it's okay, no time to pet the dog. I'm not seeing anything here. We have found another collectible, in this case the first one for the chapter officially. It's a glass syringe, a syringe used by nurses to administer intravenous or intramuscular drugs. The needles were not as fine-tipped as today and injections hurt. Medicine was nevertheless making great progress. Okay, well, there's only so many rooms that we haven't been in. I know, Walt, I know. I'm starting to get a little panicky here myself. find him? Downstairs. Okay, at least we have a new command. There's a basement here. Okay, there's another collectible. That's good, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. I did say I wanted them. Dentist basin. The dental surgeon's profession appeared before the war, and the nature of war injuries really brought the surgical aspect of the profession to the fore. At the front, dentists were called on to treat all manner of wounds, and especially jaw injuries. A basin such as this was used to keep surgical instruments in a more or less sterile condition. Okay, I found the majority of the collectibles. Most importantly, we need this freaking health kit. Okay, we got it. I don't see anything else. I don't think I can go back there. I'm just gonna sprint to him. If I can freaking find him now. This freaking hospital is huge.
Allez, Carl. Tiens bon, tiens bon. Ça va aller, allez. Allez, Carl. Carl, tiens bon. Allez. Voilà, tiens bon, tiens bon. Allez, Carl. Allez, courage. Ça va aller, allez. Allez. Voilà, tiens. Carl, tiens bon. Ça va aller, allez. Allez, courage. Allez, Carl. Voilà, tiens. Carl, tiens bon. Allez. Ça va aller, allez. Allez, Carl. Carl, tiens bon. Allez, courage. Tiens bon.
No joke, that was hard. Made a few mistakes there, but I think we made it.
One look from his son was enough for Carl to forget 3 years of war and exile.
No, let's stay home.
After weeks without news of Emile, Marie finally received a letter from her father.
Emile Chaillon.
Can we call that at least a partially happy ending? I mean, so far, half of our group seems pretty happy. Despite the sort of grave circumstances he found himself in, Carl was sort of able to come to and make the best of the situation with his family, which I think is a good thing for him. Didn't get perfect collectibles, but that's okay. New chapter here. Wow, there's actually none in this mission. Interesting. Okay, so that was actually the last 4 collectibles right there. Nothing to worry about in this chapter. There is a new historical fact to go along with it, though I keep calling them chapters, but each one of these is a new mission. Like each new mission has its own set of collectibles, and chapters are there's so many missions in each chapter. Anyways, here's the historical fact. Military justice. In uniform, soldiers were subject to military justice. 2,500 death penalties were meted out to punish disobedience and desertion. Of these, 650 were actually carried out, mainly at the start of the war. As the war progressed, politicians tried to limit the use of executions, especially those intended to set an example. Nevertheless, in the wake of the Chemin des Dames mutinies, over 50 soldiers from that event, which is the last event that we played out, the last mission we played out with Emile, over 50 of those soldiers were still executed. And that's the last place we left off with Emil. So Freddy, I think for the most part, ends up in good shape. Carl and his family, finally, after all that drama, get back together. They're all in one place, happy and relatively healthy. Emil, however, he's still this last sort of outstanding character. And I thought, for the most part, our saga with him was complete. He was bedridden for a good portion of, I think, Chapter 3, sort of going into Chapter 4. We didn't really get to see a whole lot of him. And then he was back on the battlefield. And that last mission that we did with him in particular was quite combat-oriented, as we sort of made our way through no man's land and the surrounding trenches. And we had to keep pushing forward, but the French were essentially being slaughtered. Sorry, I'll turn that annoying music off. The French were being slaughtered. Emil's men were being slaughtered all around him, and Emil's commanding officer was basically threatening anybody who was contemplating desertion, running the other direction, basically. And Emil had had enough of watching his men walk their way towards suicide, and hit his commanding officer in the head or his general, whatever, lieutenant, hit him in the head with his shovel, which I thought was pretty funny. Emil's not really a violent sort of guy, so it would take a lot to see that from him, but we did, and it ended up with him in this lovely French prison. So that's where we are with him, and this is sort of the last thread of the story that still needs to be closed.
C'est l'heure.
Sort of sad, sort of sombering to see Emil in this circumstance. Most definitely. Sad. And you can see where this is going, based on the revelation of the historical fact. Emil is being sent to execution.
Dearest Marie, as the war ends for me, I have no regrets. I've seen too much horror. I hope fate has been more merciful to you. Our time on Earth is brief, and mine has been filled with so much joy that I can only be thankful for how much I've been blessed, most especially for the wonder you brought into my life. This letter is my last. I've been found guilty by a military court for the death of an officer.
Oh, Freddy. Oh boy, that's hard. I have to say that this is one of the most chilling sort of end games I've ever played. This walk.
It was not my intention to kill him. War makes men mad. Though I failed Carl, I know my sacrifice has not been in vain.
Oh, Walt. He just saw like an apparition of Walt. Oh man. Anna.
I fought for my country and my liberty. My honor is assured. Since it is the will of God to separate us on earth, I hope we'll meet again in heaven. Keep me in your prayers. Your loving Papa. Always.
Even though their bodies have long since returned to dust, their sacrifice still lives on. We must strive to cherish their memory and never forget.
That was incredible. That was stunning. That was beautiful, and heartbreaking. I would say probably all at the same time. Watching him go out to his death and saying goodbye to all of his family and friends and comrades that he fought alongside was really touching. I mean, I hate to be sort of cliche and cheesy, but that was incredible. 10 out of 10. I would recommend this game to anybody to play, just to pick up and actually be able to experience it for themselves. That was amazing. I'm so glad I played Valiant Hearts.
Hungry for more, the war was not yet over. Its appetite was infinite.
That was sort of a peculiar scene to include there at the end with Freddy. I know that the Americans going into 1918, entering the war, something that this game didn't cover. We really only touched towards 1917, not really going into that final year of World War I. So maybe that's sort of what they were trying to hint to. It was definitely Freddy that they showed, and it looked like a bunch of American ships or whatnot coming in there. I was just gonna say, how lucky of us. Not only was it a great game, but it's got the shortest credits of all time. That obviously wasn't the full credits, unless the credits are repeating. No, definitely not. I'm just kidding. I'm definitely going to let this play out to the end. I always do, though, just to make sure that there's no content that we're missing out on here towards the end. Devastating, for sure, to lose Emil. I think Emil was one of my favorite characters throughout the entirety of the game. I mean, they were all great. Carl, I would say, was probably one of my least favorite characters, but I think you sort of have a bias sort of against the opposite side. You know, being a Canadian and American, you're more likely to sort of sympathize or empathize with the Allies. But no, it was incredible. The story, the art, we talked about a lot of it. If this is the first video in this series that you're watching, you owe yourself, go back and watch the other 11, catch my whole series, because it, from top to bottom, is great. We need more indie games like this. Immediately, I would put this probably in my top 3 indie games of all time that I've played. It's probably up there with me for like Firewatch. Firewatch was a very impactful indie experience for me. Valiant Hearts, absolutely, as well. And finally, a game addressing World War I. I mean, we've seen a few more over the last maybe 5 years or so. Not enough. Alright, I think it's safe to say that that's it. I don't know about you, but that one is definitely going to sit on my mind for quite some time. On the bright side, though, if you're still feeling down, we got some great streams coming up. Stay tuned. Definitely like this video. I don't know how you couldn't. You're an evil person if you don't. Subscribe so that you can know when Spider-Man gets posted, and keep that convo going down below. Let me know what you think of the finale of Valiant Hearts. And from all of us at sweetfishPLAYS, I will see you all on the other side.